Hi guys. Let me put on TikTok. I think this stream. Oh no, I did not change. Okay, whatever. It's gonna be on on the webcam. I'm sorry. I have the camera set up, but I didn't change it in the thing, and so here we are. I'm always so good at that. It's fantastic. I'm a little sick. I don't know why. Well, I have an idea why. I have a person to kill, but that's okay. I'm kidding. I did not just say that. And if I did, then there were no witnesses and you guys heard nothing. Correct? Correct. Fantastic. Hi, Juju. Hi, Michael. Hi, Ian. And hi, Allie. Um, hugs with face masks. Hi, Praxis. It's really not that bad. Like, it's nothing. It's just like, it's a cold. It's also probably because I was like running around Kyiv trying to get all of my stuff together for the past 2 days for the apartment. You really forget how much like random little stuff you need when you move until you actually move. Here, hi Carolyn, I love that. It's like uh I when I got here, this apartment was like lived in by my family friends. So there is like pots and pans and all of these like things. Hi, Kurt. And the apartment in Kyiv, it's a rental apartment. So there is like basic furniture, like a bed, a couch. Like in Ukraine, it's a little different. You don't get an empty apartment in most cases. You mostly have the furniture already there. And so it has like furniture. But for instance, I wanted to make myself a dinner and I went to a grocery store and I got like all of this stuff. And then I'm standing there and I'm like, wait a second, I don't have pots and pans. And then for some reason, I also thought to myself that like there was a cheaper pot, but it looked kind of like, well, first of all, I went to like a not cheap grocery store because it was really late and that's the one that was open. And they had like a cheaper pot and then they had one with a metal bottom and I was like, I don't know why, but this just feels like, this is not that big of a difference and this just looks like a nicer pot. So I got it and I get home and I'm like, oh, good thing I got a metal pot because I have an induction stove and I didn't even know, and I've never used an induction stove before in my life, so I didn't know how to turn it on. So I spent like an hour trying to figure out how to freaking turn it on. And then I ended up heating up sausages in the microwave and just eating that. So that was a thing. But I was also running around and like getting random stuff. Like there are no pots, no pans, there were no like cleaning supplies, there was no dish soap, obviously. There was like really nothing. And I haven't brought my vacuum cleaner yet. So this entire week, as you know, I'm moving. These past 2 days have been like a whirlwind. There was a lot to do. I did the test shoot for the new job. We're currently putting together a podcast and sort of like figuring out how we want to structure it and stuff like that. So it's going to be a bunch of like different test shoots. So tomorrow I'm here in Lviv and I'm packing up this apartment, rather like picking up my things. And then on Friday, I'm driving with my dad's girlfriend to Kyiv, who graciously agreed to help me move. So we're going to move whatever fits in her car. And Cindy's coming with me. Liv is not good with travel, so I don't want to take her with me right away. She's probably going to stay here and my dad's going to look after her, or I'm going to bring her to my grandma's because she has a house and Liv can like, run around and stuff. So I might do that. And, and Sydney's going to come with me because she's like very easy with traveling. And yeah, it's been a few days like that. And it's very nice though. I am excited to show you the apartment once I'm like done putting my things in there. There was this like really weird sort of situation where there is a TV already in the apartment, and the planning is so that you have this like kind of like kitchen living room area, and then you have this like little nook. So I thought the nook was like a perfect place for an office, but for some reason they put the couch there, which is like 20 feet away from the TV. The couch was like super duper heavy, so I had to have help and move it, which I did because I'm impatient. And And now, sort of like at least the furniture was there. I then realized I have no plants in the apartment, and my apartment in New York is like a greenhouse. I have so many plants. So I went, so while I was grocery shopping, I saw a plant and I was like, you're coming home with me. So I now have one singular plant. It's like a royal palm or something like that. There was a massive, massive, massive airstrike on Kyiv this morning. Don't be like me, but so I did not set up the. Thank you. I did not set up the actual air alerts for Kyiv. I have the like actual like attention air alert for Lviv, and then I have these like tiny little kind of like they have the same sound as like a text message or something for Kyiv. And so I did not hear the air raid, and I overslept the heck out of it. And I woke up to my mom calling me obnoxiously, trying to figure out if I'm okay, which I was. I'm also going to play you the sound of the explosions that were actually happening in the neighborhood where my mom's best friends live. So, where they live, there is an air defense system. And so, there very often when Kyiv gets hit with airstrikes, the things are flying like right over them, and so it was really terrifying for them, but it's not the worst that they have seen or heard. And I'm going to play it for you because I think it's important to hear. So her daughter recorded this. Uh, Wait. And this was happening in their like right next to their home. This is indoors, by the way. And their neighborhood was hit. Their neighborhood was hit pretty hard, actually. Like and it's kind of like a residential neighborhood. It's not in the center, so there's more. So it's flying right over them. How do I Slava Albert, I think. I don't know why I said Albert. But yeah, these are the noises that they were hearing over them. It's actually quite terrifying, because you literally hear the missiles flying right above your house. So it was like they said it was about 15 of them. And then you hear the air defense in the background. And the one of the houses that got hit is at the entrance of the village where they live. So yeah, so it was a pretty difficult morning for them today. I honestly don't know how they live in the neighborhood because I have various friends that live like right outside of Kyiv, and that live in neighborhoods where there is like Patriot systems or something like that, and they constantly hear like have all of, they constantly hear the air defense working. They constantly have debris falling places. There are constantly missiles flying right over them. I don't know how they do it. Like genuinely, I think I would feel safer on the top floor of a high rise in Kyiv than I would in a neighborhood like that. And people have been living like that for 2.5 years. So yeah, that's kind of yeah. That was this morning for me. And then I headed to the train at noon and I got to Lviv at 7 p.m. So now I have all of my stuff to pack. And on Friday morning, I'll be going back to Kyiv, and then I'll have to go back to Lviv because I doubt that all of this stuff is going to fit. And so I'm going to have to do a couple of runs, which like is so exhausting. It's honestly so exhausting. Also, I start work soon. So I'm gonna have to like maneuver around that, and my mom can't drive me again. Like as in, so I'm going not with my mom, and then my mom is driving me next time. So that's like next weekend, And oh, good night, Marina. And so it's just, it's quite a bit. And I have to like figure out the shoots and the moves and the dogs because I can't like move the yeah. It's basically a lot. It's a lot to do. And also, I can't stay in Kyiv with the people that are driving me because they don't like, understandably, don't want to drive back alone. It's a 6.5 to 8 hour trip, and so yeah, Hi Tony. So it's been a wild couple of days. It's not really that wild. It's just exhausting. Also, I hate the mattress in my new apartment. I don't know what it is with Ukrainian mattresses, but like the one that's in my childhood bedroom, I do not know how I slept there my whole life. The one that's in this apartment is, and the one that it's in, that's the mattress in the new apartment. Funny enough, is like a fancy mattress, but I don't know what's wrong with it, but it's just like awful. I guess I like mattresses with with springs inside of them, right? And I like them to be firm. And this mattress does not have springs. It's just like like a singular sort of like layer of a mattress. And I don't know what it is, but it's just so bad. And I need to get like a different mattress because I'm gonna kill my back. Like my back feels so bad all the time because I don't understand why all the mattresses in Ukraine are so shitty. I'm so sorry. I hate the mattresses here. It's like 3 out of 3. They're so bad. And they're also super thin. And my super used to American things self, um, the bed in the apartment is like pretty low to the ground. And then it has like this mattress that's maybe like this thick. And so it's such a low bed too. I feel like I'm sleeping on the floor. So I'm getting used to quite a few things. But other than that, my apartment is really nice. I'm really happy with it. I did discover that certain neighborhoods in Kyiv have a water issue, like a pretty severe water issue. Like you can't drink or consume in any way for cooking tap water. So the way that apartment rentals work in the US, it's like a company owns the apartments and you rent it from a company. So in Ukraine, people buy individual apartments and then they rent them out to you, right? So basically, if the water in your building sucks, you're responsible for the owner of the apartment is responsible for like filtering the water and like whatever. So I'm seeing that most of the people in my building that rent apartments use like these water jugs. And the people that live there have like reverse osmosis filters and stuff like that. So my dad works in water and he knows what filter needs to be installed. And I'm likely going to have to install it because the water has yellow residue. And like that's okay. I have, there is like a little filter that I can use for drinking water, but for cooking, for showering, there is rust in the water. And apparently Kyiv notoriously has that water issue for like because of rusty pipes and stuff. And I never would have thought that. Like it never came to my mind to be like, hey, how is the water in the building? Because I didn't even know, like my dad didn't know that like Kyiv has this issue. And I've asked a bunch of people, and apparently in central neighborhoods, because it's like there are lots of older buildings and the infrastructure is older than in newer neighborhoods. Like the water is garbage. And so I'm like, what? How do you people live here? Like I wouldn't drink tap water in Lviv, but I can cook with it. It's like, dishwasher water is yellow. It's bad. It's really bad. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm solving problems one at a time. Таки буде Україна, так. Все буде Україна. And I'm oversleeping air alerts, which please don't do that. I was just incredibly tired after traveling, and I did not have air raid alerts on. My apartment is on the 15th floor and it has like soundproof windows, so I would not have heard the air raid outside of my window by any means. Um, Frost the Glacian, I guess I should stop drinking tap water. You shouldn't drink tap water by any means. I had this conversation with someone. So, like, you know how people say tap water in New York is fine for consumption? Um, like, no. Yes, the water at its origin is fine for consumption, but your pipes can be bad. Like, your pipes can be old, your building can have like issues. So, like, yes, please don't drink tap water. Like, drink filtered water, get a Brita, honestly. It's late here. Good night. Good night. Yeah, it's late here too. How do I am, Slava? I'm just, up because I haven't done a stream in 2 days, and it's about time. I even have shower filters. Yeah, that's what I'm probably gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to install a filter on my shower head because I can't imagine. I can't imagine it's good for you to take showers in rusty water all the time. But hi, guys. Hi, Gord. Hi, Michael. Hi, Henry. Hi, TDS. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Odin. Um, Hi, K Bell. Also, if I missed someone, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to. I don't think I did. We'll pay for the best rebuilding once they lose. I hope so. Glad I live in the woods now. Oh, that must be nice. See, well water. Well water would be nice. Me here drinking Flint water. Oh no. No. Do not do that. Do not drink Flint water. But yeah, so that's sort of 300-foot deep well. Ooh, nice. That's nice. That must be nice. But yeah, so that's kind of what it's been. Also, in my absence for the past 2 days, I received $315 in donations. One of them was a singular donation of $300 that came from one person. So thank you very much. I don't know you very well, so I don't know if I should be saying the name of the person, but obviously, if you donated, you know who you are. And then another donation in the amount of $15, which thank you very much as well. So that brings us to, give me 1 second, because of course I put it on the wrong phone. 1 sec. Calculator, where are you? I have a calculator and a note. So that brings us to 7,000. So that brings us to $7,831. $7,831. And I'm going to probably repeat it for the third time if I don't forget. $7,831 is what the drone fight fundraiser is at. The reason I repeated it for the third time is because I had to like switch out of my TikTok to look at the amount, and then it kept showing red. So that means that the connection wasn't there. So $7,831 is the amount we have raised so far, which is $300 over 3 drones. So we are on our way to the 4th drone that we had. And if you would like to donate to the fundraiser, this is a fundraiser for 6 drones for 3rd Separate Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, for 6 DJI Mavic drones. Also, so apparently my personal friends from 3rd Separate Assault are going back to the front. They were in Kyiv for a little while, and they're actually going to an area I know really well, because we have previously, so the brigade that used to be there moved out of there and changed directions. And we previously fundraised for that brigade, and we got them a quad, which I'm still waiting on pictures of. We got them meal rations and thermals. And yeah, so that's what we did there before, and and these drones are likely going to be going exactly there. And there are quite a few different things that are happening within the armed forces of Ukraine. There are lots of changes. Sorry. I think that strategy is going well. I don't think I know, but I'm also seeing that there are a lot of changes in terms of mobilization. There is a huge push to like centralize it to make it better. There is a huge push to demobilize soldiers that have been at the front for way too long. There is a huge push to train soldiers better. There's basically a huge push to redo all the processes and streamline them so they actually work. Also, there are lots of soldiers and units and brigades that are taking initiative in sort of bringing these westernized changes to the table. Those are specifically some English speaking units. I can't really talk about it because, I shouldn't. But I'm seeing a lot of, like, from the people that I'm talking to, especially because I do have a lot of friends and people I know in Kyiv who are frontline soldiers. Some of them are in Kyiv because they rotate, and some of them are in Kyiv. Third assault rotates quite a bit, and some of them are in Kyiv because injury recovery and stuff like that. And so I've been talking to quite a few soldiers in the past couple of days, and it does look like things are very much looking up in that way. And also, there was a very cool thing that happened while I was in Kyiv. Has nothing to do with me, but it was just a very cool thing. So there is one of the TV channels, a news host, signed off. Sini signed off from the TV channel saying that this is his last live with the news channel, and this is where his career as the new news anchor ends and his career as a self-mobilized military man begins. And he basically said that he had signed a contract with or he had mobilized himself into the armed forces of Ukraine, and he's going to go fight for our country. And he had encouraged everyone who has been thinking about it and everyone who hasn't been thinking about it to join the armed forces of Ukraine and protect our country. And I thought it was like a phenomenal thing to do because, yeah, it was, it's what showmen do, right? But you're saying this on air to a huge group of people and to the entire country. And you're basically telling them, like, hey, I'm leading by example. This is what I did. I quit my job that you see me at every day, and I'm now going to serve in the military. And I thought that it was a very, very, very cool thing to do because it might inspire people who watch him on air every day to get conscripted. So, yeah, or rather volunteer. So I thought it was a really cool thing that happened. Before we begin with the news, do you guys have any like other questions? I sometimes feel like, I'm missing on telling you some of the most random but interesting things about Kyiv or about like life in Ukraine because they just seem so mundane to me at this point. But I've realized that you can tell the difference between someone who had just come to Kyiv and someone who had been in Kyiv for a while by how they react to air raids. It's like if you've been in Kyiv for a while, you sleep through them, and you just sort of you sleep through them, and you don't go to the shelter. And if you had just come to Kyiv, you're rushing to the shelter, which is actually something you should be doing. But after a while, it's just you get used to it so much that it's kind of just noise in the background, unfortunately. Very dangerous noise in the background, but noise in the background nonetheless. How is Sandberg? He is good. He he likes his unit. He likes what he does. He is good. He's doing well. Like you're now, but please still go to the shelter. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, it was like a pretty huge airstrike. I would have gone to the shelter had I woken up, but because I didn't have the air alert set up on my phone, I now do. I just didn't hear it, and I was honestly so tired. It was such a like long day. My test shoot was at 8:30. I got stuck in traffic. I got there at 9. There was like test hair and makeup, but I am going to hello, what? But I am going to probably do my own hair and makeup because I think that there is a very large misconception. There is a very large gap between. So my segment is going to be Western facing, right? And I think that unless you are on the news, like you're a news anchor on TV presenting like the weather or like the rundown of the news, no one does like heavy makeup and heavy like hair and stuff like that in the US anymore. People prefer more of a natural look. And I personally really don't like how like this super stagey makeup looks on me. And so we did a test run. Like it was, I mean, it was okay. It was just nothing that I would ever like do for myself or ask to do for myself. you know? So it was just very weird. I didn't particularly enjoy it, and I offered if I could do my own makeup, and if it looks good on camera, can we just go with that? Because I really don't like the studio makeup. I also don't wear a foundation, and I can't wear a foundation, and I don't want to wear a foundation by any means. I don't know. I actually have a picture of what that makeup looked like, I think, on this phone, and if I have it here, I'll show it to you. But to me, it was like, it was so much. No, I don't have it on here. But it was like, a full-on smoky eye checking in from the swamp. So yeah, it was like a full-on smoky eye and just like a lot going on, and I'm so not used to it. But um, if the job calls for it, I guess we'll just have to find a compromise because I do not feel comfortable looking that way by any means. I think it's just like so much for me. Also because so there is a lot of hairspray that goes into your hair for these types of things, and like that ruins your hair, and I'm just not willing to like completely ruin my hair for for this. I don't wear products in my hair like that. I also don't wear a lot of makeup products, and I'm not planning on starting to do that. I think that it's really, really bad, really, really bad for your skin and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just not willing to do that. Okay. So yes, summary, we are at $7,831 for the fundraiser. $315 came throughout the past 48 hours while I wasn't live streaming. So thank you very much. If you would like to donate, there is a link in bio in my TikTok where you can donate through PayPal, Venmo, or Revolut or Monobank. And if you are on YouTube, then I'm going to expect Grumpy to magically show up at some point about right now and post the link. And if he doesn't within the next minute, I will. And every donation that comes during the live obviously um, is going to be announced on the live. So, if you don't want your name to be announced with the donation, then please just write like, hey, don't say my name or something, because I never know who wants their name to be announced and who doesn't. And yeah, and so that's that. Alrighty, are we ready for the news? And wait, since we are at like $7,830, oh wait, 7,830, maybe we can get it to 8,000 today. Maybe we can get it to 8,000. That's like $170 away. Maybe, fingers crossed. You work for United 24 ? I don't work for United 24. I work with United 24, and I am the voice for their segment called Ukraine Briefly. So you definitely, if you're trying to ask me if you've heard my voice on there, then yes, you did. Do I work for United 24? No. Do I work with United 24? Yes. You're so lucky I just got here. Thanks, Grumpy. Hi, Yulia. Are you and your family okay? Worried about missiles attack in Kyiv? Yes, my family is in Lviv. They're okay. I'm okay too. I was in Kyiv this morning when it was happening. I had no idea it was happening because I slept through the air raid. I forgot to put it on my phone, and the only reason I knew that there was a missile attack as fast as I did is because Grumpy gave me a lecture, a very passive aggressive but understandable little lecture. And my mom called me obnoxiously to find out if I'm alive. So there is that. So, Liv, hey, sorry, 1 second. Cinny, hey, Cinny. Sorry, 1 sec. Hey, guys, no, get out. Stop licking her tail. Like Cindy's tail is healing, and Liv is like licking it, and it like can't happen because it's not good because her stitches are still there. Who does Grumpy not lecture? Mrs. Grumpy. Grumpy does not lecture Mrs. Grumpy at all. Do you understand Ukrainian language? Враховуючи, що я народилася і виросла у Львові, це було б дуже дивно, якби я не розуміла або не розмовляла українською мовою. Так що так, я і розумію, і розмовляю, і взагалі це моя перша мова. Yeah, so she even speaks it. Yeah, I do. Oh, Steven, thank you so much, and welcome to the Spy Lair. That's very sweet of you. Thank you for subscribing to the TikTok live. I really do appreciate it. It does go a very long way. Uh, that's a no. What's a no? Oh, hi, Diane. See, every time I say something to Grumpy and it's like unpleasant, he's like, "You're not the boss of me. Mrs. Grumpy is the boss of me." And so I always laugh at it because it's it's funny. He is afraid of his wife. Like she's very sweet, but he is afraid of his wife. Hi Pamela. Nice to meet you. Okay. In January, Ukraine achieved a significant milestone by reaching pre-war levels of exports by sea, attributed to the successful operation of the Ukrainian Maritime corridor. Hi, Nick. Oh my God. Hello. Prime Minister Shmyhal highlighted the pivotal role of the Ukrainian Maritime Logistics Corridor, which has been operational for the past 6 months. The lifting of the blockade of the Black Sea half a year ago marked a turning point, allowing for the revitalization of Ukrainian maritime trade. Also, we just got a $10 donation, so let me open my thing and add it all up. Plus a $10 donation, so we are at $7,841. Hi, Christian, and hi, Closet. So we are at $7,841 for the drones for 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, and that puts us a little less than 3 drones away from 6 drones from the goal. So we are past the halfway point, which is kind of cool. And maybe, just maybe, we can get it to $7,900 today, or $8,000. Just like maybe. Hi, Gabby. Okay. Moreover, parallel efforts led to the implementation of a project aimed at ensuring exports against military risks, particularly the insurance of ships entering Ukrainian ports. This initiative serves to mitigate potential risks and bolster confidence among traders and shipping companies operating in the region. You're in more places than me. Hi, Paul. Nice to meet you. We'll overcome together. Oh, thank you so much. And Kirill, hello. How is it going? Well, given that your name is Kirill with a double L, I'm gonna guess that you're Russian. And if you're Russian, then I've got no interest in answering that question for you. Because it also seems like whenever someone with a name with double with that's Russian comes in to my lives, it's usually, innocent until it isn't. So there we have it. At the occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, there are half as many personnel as the required number, and the term of use of nuclear fuel at the station is also coming to an end. So actually, a very interesting thing. So when I was looking at apartments in Kyiv, my like the woman who was showing them to me, the real estate agent, she is from Enerhodar, which is Zaporizhzhia, which is where the nuclear power plant is located. Her husband worked at the nuclear power plant, and they have been living in Russian occupation until August of last year, 2023, when they were able to sorry, when they were able to escape. And the reason why they couldn't escape earlier than that is because her husband was working in the nuclear power plant and the Russians weren't letting anyone out. And hi, Tara. And he was one of the people who was, I'm sorry, my dogs are just being very weird right now. He was one of the people who was working there and one of the people who was stuck there without rotation for a while. And I actually kept her contact. I did not end up renting an apartment with her. But I ended up keeping her contact and asking if she would be interested in giving me an interview at some point, and she said yes. So hopefully I'll be able to do that, and she can tell you more about what life is like under Russian occupation. My taxi driver yesterday, who was bringing me to the super early morning test shoot, he is from Odessa and lived most of his life in Kherson. And him and his family moved to Kyiv a couple of years back. and he has 2 kids. They're school age. And so him and his wife got a divorce, and the wife moved to Mariupol a couple of years ago. And so they were there when Mariupol when Mariupol was surrounded by Russia and when all of these horrors were happening in the beginning of the full-scale invasion. And so his wife died, and he drove to Mariupol to pick up his children. So he drove into Russian occupation, and then he drove out of the Russian occupation. So his story is wild, and I wish I could hear more of it, but I only got to hear that little bit in the 30-minute car ride. So I don't yeah, I know, Odin. School age children is a very broad understanding. I think they're pretty young, but I don't know how old his kids are, but they were living with their mother in Mariupol, and then they were under all of those missile strikes, and lived in occupation for a while, but thankfully they're in Kyiv, and they're okay, or as okay as they can be, and they go to school there now too. Minister of Energy Halushenko said that those with whom the Russians can replace Ukrainian personnel do not have a license. As a result, it may affect the operation of the ZNPP and nuclear and radiation safety. In addition, it is reported that an additional thank you, Netlin. In addition, it is reported that an additional threat is the issue of nuclear fuel, which is operated at the station. According to Halushenko, the term of its operation coincides. In such conditions, it is necessary to make decisions that will significantly affect nuclear safety. Well, it's not news. Russians are not operating the nuclear power plant in the correct way. They do not have enough personnel. They do not they're not doing it right, and that's the bottom line of it. And it's a disaster waiting to happen. It's just, hopefully, that if the disaster does happen, it's not going to be as large scale as we had priorly feared when the invasion just begun. Also, I just had a topic in my head that I thought was very important to discuss, and then I completely zoned out on it. Wow. Oh, the vote on the aid package today in the United States. As someone who's lived in the United States for 12 years and still half lives there, I am so incredibly fucking annoyed with our politics and with how, you know what? Screw the unbiased. I'm really fucking annoyed with Republicans. Not the people, the elected officials, and the people, I guess, that still vote for these elected officials. So let me get this straight. The border issue is such an important issue for the Republicans that they couldn't vote on Ukraine aid without resolving the border issue. They've wanted all of these things to be put for consideration in the package. The Democrats gave that to them. Trump was like, oh, fuck. I have nothing else to run my campaign on other than the border crisis, because that's what I scare people with, the Mexicans, the scary, scary Mexicans. So no, you can't let the Democrats solve this, because then I have nothing to run with. So then the Republicans come and say that they, in fact, do not want to solve the border crisis anymore, and they just want to vote on the Ukraine bill by itself or not vote on it at all. So basically, for those people who are still confused why most reasonable people are not voting for the Republicans that are currently in office, or the choices that we have in this country, and why we are trying to tell you that if we put these people in office again, we are fucked, is because they're telling you that they're trying to resolve the border crisis because it's super important and it has to be resolved now, and they're doing it for you and your safety. then it doesn't work for Trump's election campaign anymore because he doesn't have a platform to run on other than the border crisis. And so they declined to resolve the border crisis they were just saying is the largest crisis in America. These people will literally say anything to get into office, and I am so actually happy that they're like that and they're this limited, because they had screwed up their electoral campaign with the independent voters that could have voted for them, because at this point they're just shooting themselves in the foot, and thank you for that. And also, yeah, Trump does not have presidential immunity in the January 6th hearing, which is also the correct it's a correct decision from the court, and I'm very happy that the court made that decision, because it doesn't matter if you're president, if you're trying to entice an insurrection, or you know that your voters are trying to cause an insurrection, and you're just standing by there and not doing anything about it and encouraging it and planning it weeks in advance and all that, it's not, you should not have immunity. So that's fantastic. It's also very good to know that he's been ordered to pay $83 million, which he doesn't have. I'm very happy that all of these lenders and creditors are finally realizing that he had been overinflating values of his property so much to borrow money for his failed projects, because if you didn't know, none of Trump's businesses are successful. They're all bankrupt, which is why he continuously keeps borrowing money, and he has never had actual cash in his life to be able to spend or invest. It's always been borrowed assets that he had put his properties against. Liv, get off. Liv, hey, come here. Liv, sorry. Liv, get out of my suitcase. Get out of my suitcase. No, not a thing. You have a bed. So yeah. But basically, yeah, it's really funny because there's so many people who are like, I vote for Trump because he's a successful businessman. And I'm like, no, he's not a successful businessman, because here's the thing. The man has an apartment that costs $20,000, right? He goes to a bank and tells the bank that he has an apartment, and that apartment costs $100,000. So he puts an apartment up to the bank as collateral for borrowing $100,000. The bank gives it to him. And now the banks find out that every time he's done that, none of these properties actually cover the money, and he still owes the money. So, except we're not talking about a couple of thousands of dollars. We're talking in hundreds of millions of dollars. So this guy is like screwed out of the wazoo. And the reason why he wants to be president is not because he has all of these fantastic ideas and wants your life to be better. It's because he wants the presidential immunity, because otherwise he's gonna continue having to pay all this money that he doesn't have. He's gonna get in a lot of trouble with a lot of really shady people that he works with. And he's also gonna likely end up going to jail. And I really hope that he's going to get that insurrection charge, because a person like that should not be able to run for president. Honestly, the fact that in the US you can run for president from jail is like just appalling to me. But it is what it is. So, one second. So part of the residents of Kyiv were left without electricity this morning. The debris of the missile damaged 2 high-voltage lines. The Turkish company Baykar has started construction of a plant in Ukraine, according to Reuters. Hi, Dmitro. Air Defense Forces shot down about 24 Kh-101, Kh-555, Kh-55 cruise missiles over Kyiv in the vicinity of the capital. The police have shown the aftermath of the attack on the capital. There are still people trapped under the rubble, and the rescue operation is ongoing. So I am going to show you this, because this is what Kyiv looked like this morning. Hi, Jason. Good to see you. Yeah, it's not great. So this is what Kyiv looked like this morning. Again, I overslept that, which is like, don't be like me. Cindy, dogs, can you get out of my suitcase, please? Cindy, can you please come here? Thank you. So yeah, so where was I? Please don't be like me. Do not oversleep air raids. I did not have the air raids set on my phone. Clearly, Cindy. No, Cindy, come here. Cindy, get out of the suitcase. Cindy, get out of there. You're not allowed there. You have a bed. Sit in your bed. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, don't be like me. In the beginning of the stream, for those of you who didn't hear, I played the sounds that were heard of missiles flying over my parents' friend's house in the suburbs. And it shows kind of like what it's like to live with missiles flying over your head. You know, it's really scary. Those are really scary noises. But yeah, so Kyiv got hit. It was apparently very scary. I'm kind of happy I slept through it. Also, kind of mad because I shouldn't, and I know that's a safety risk. Also, I did have something else in my mind, and I keep forgetting because I'm just so like I have a cold. Oh, Odin. So you say the banks appraise the property. Yes, but the banks don't go to the property usually to appraise it. And also like the banks don't take the banks like in properties that high of a value and with people with that many connections. That's not necessarily how it works. There is in fact evidence that Trump submitted floor plans of his apartment that was, I believe, 10,000 square feet. And he said that it was like 50,000 square feet or something like that. So obviously it was appraised as something very different. So he's lied a lot. He's lied on income statements. He's lied on revenue statements. He's lied on his property values. He would get like appraisers. Hi Alexandra. Yeah, he would get appraisers that he would bribe guys. Hey, that he would like pay off to say that his properties were worth more. And like, I really don't know why you're arguing me on this, Odin, because like Trump sucks and the guy is bankrupt and the guy is a liar and he's a failed businessman and he's literally like he's a criminal and he should be in jail. And it's very evident that that there are like over 80 charges against this guy for all of the crap that he has done in his career. I don't know what the point is of trying to like justify his actions or say, oh, but the state did that too. Hey, okay, give me 1 second. Hey, you two, get out of the suitcase. I swear, this is not your playpen. Hey, get out. Cindy, come here. Cindy. Jesus Christ, Liv, Cindy, get out. Stop. Stop it. Seriously. Like, no. Also, you're not supposed to be moving at the speed with which you're moving because you still have freaking Liv? No. Oh my God. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. Get down. Get down. Get down, dude. I love this. Okay. Get down. No. I told you get down. No. Get down. You don't get railed up. Can we see the suitcase they're so interested in? No, it's just like I'm trying to pack the things to continue moving to Kyiv this week, and they're just like, they're just jumping into the suitcase and playing it, and don't you dare. This is the best stream ever. Shows the doggos. I mean, I don't think I can show you the doggos because I'm not. So I accidentally turned on, see, suitcase, and there's stuff in the suitcase, right? Oh, sorry. So suitcase here, and they are just, they're just like running around in the suitcase, and yeah, and I'm just not too keen on that. YouTube is blocking my text exposing Tucker. There might be some like trigger words there that YouTube blocks. Ukraine will defeat the orcs. I agree with you. Okay, the High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Joseph Borrell, remains in Kyiv on a visit. He spent this morning in hiding. This is the daily reality faced by the brave Ukrainian people since Russia started its illegal aggression. He emphasized, you can't waste time. Ukraine needs our security help now. The US ambassador to Ukraine, Bridget Brink, and the head of the European diplomacy, Joseph Borrell, reacted to the morning attack of the Russian Federation. Hi, Niels. That's like the thing. I feel like people don't take it nearly as seriously until they have been in it on a daily basis. And that's kind of like the thing. I hear a lot from people that they didn't hate Russia as much or didn't have nearly as much emotion towards what's happening until they went to Ukraine and they've experienced it themselves because it's torturous, I also the body. So there were 4 people that died in this missile attack, and the body of the 4th person that died in a high-rise building in the Holosievsky district of Kyiv was recovered from under the rubble. 19 people were injured, and 60 residents of the building were evacuated. Also, as a result of the nighttime attack in Novomoskovsk, almost all communal equipment was destroyed, including tractors, excavators, multi-purpose machines, and dump trucks, according to Serhiy Lysak, head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration. The enemies used drones to target an enterprise responsible for city maintenance and comfort. Now, there is practically nothing left to clean the streets or clear the snow. In the morning, there were loud explosions in the Pavlograd region. One rocket was successfully intercepted by the defenders of the sky. However, there were also strikes on infrastructure objects. Fortunately, no casualties were reported among the people, Lysak added. So the consequences of the missile attack on Mykolaiv are staggering. More than 20 buildings were damaged, and video footage reveals that these were not military targets, but simple residential buildings. So here's the thing. This missile attack today was not only on Kyiv, it was very extensive, and there were missiles flying all different directions. Cine. All different directions, and they change course all the time, so you don't necessarily know where they're going until they're either taken down or they hit. So for instance, there was some scare in Lviv today. A lot of other regions had missiles just flying over them, changing course. They're just sort of zigzagging in the sky, you never really know. We expect the EU to take 3 urgent steps to increase the supply of artillery shells to Ukraine, stated the head of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Dmytro Kuleba. First, we call on the governments of EU countries to sign long-term contracts with defense companies to boost production capacities. Secondly, it is necessary to eliminate all regulatory barriers for the interaction of European defense companies, both within Europe and with Ukrainian counterparts. Third, we must stimulate negotiations with European companies and third countries to restructure existing contracts for projectile supply to Ukraine and increase imports from third countries. Kuleba stated at a joint press conference with the head of European diplomacy, Joseph Borrell. According to the minister, taking comprehensive action on all these fronts will significantly increase artillery shell availability at the front. Canada has approved and updated a free trade agreement with Ukraine, originally signed back in September, according to CBC News. The House of Commons of Canada passed the draft law despite opposition from the Conservative Party, which had insisted on Ukraine agreeing to implement a carbon emission tax. The trade agreement, however, does not impose such an obligation on the Ukrainian government. Russia used missiles from North Korea to shell Kharkiv on February 7th. The metal fragments of ballistic missiles were collected on the territory of the industrial zone. The preliminary conclusions of experts are that these are North Korean HVASON 11GA KN-23 missiles, reported Serhiy Bolvinov, head of the investigation department of the main department of the National Police of Kharkiv region. MPs from Bulgaria came to Kyiv. Also, give me 1 second. Stop, Liv. You can't do that. Please leave her alone. Liv, get out. You can't do that. I swear, I'm like decomposing tonight. I got a cold. My dogs are acting out, obviously. When are they not? But it'd be all okay if I didn't have to like drag Liv away from Cindy's butt because she tries to lick her tail to like, to heal it, but that's actually not good because she has stitches, and I am tired because because this move is killing me. But that's about it. Okay. The IAEA organization visited the occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. The agency's Director General Rafael Grossi said that during his fourth visit to the plant, he assessed its protection, the condition of power and cooling systems, and the level of qualifications of personnel on whom the safety of the plant directly depends. At a press conference in Kyiv, Grossi said that the station currently has half the staff it needs. Under regular conditions, there should be more than 10,000 licensed workers there. We talked about it earlier. The European Union handed over to Ukraine a DOK-ING MV-10 demining system capable of demining up to 4,000 square meters per hour. The MV-10 demining system diffuses anti-personnel and anti-tank mines, as well as other unexploded ordnance, and is particularly well suited to dealing with large areas, said European diplomat Joseph Borrell. The EU support also includes a special training course for operators who will work with the system. Earlier, the MV-10 demining system was provided to Ukraine by Croatia. And then Ramstein 19 will take place on February 14th. Latvia imposes compulsory military service for men aged 18 to 27 amid fears of war with Russia. Even those abroad will have to serve. Refusal is punishable by a fine or imprisonment. Exceptions are made only for single parents. For Latvians with dual citizenship who have already served abroad, and for those with health problems. Oh, look at that. There is a Russian troll potentially that came over here, and because I see that it's a Russian spelled name, and he's trying to say Shaw in Ukrainian. Shaw? I don't know. Why don't you say something of a little more substance, and maybe I'll entertain this, but as of now, I have no interest. Oh, well then, if you're not Russian, you're Ukrainian. Why are you starting the conversation with Shaw, and why is your thing in Russian, Oh, hi. Hello, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. And hi, Melissa. Good to see you as well. I just exited out of the story I was about to read. Okay, the import of Russian gas into the Czech Republic, I always say Czech, but it's Czech Republic, has sharply increased. It already accounts for more than 60% of supplies there. In 2023, the Czech Republic managed to reduce gas imports from Russia compared to 2022 to 2% of total imports in the first 10 months. However, the situation has changed rapidly since November. In early December, Russian gas imports to the Czech Republic resumed through the Lanjut station on the border with Slovakia. In January, imports of Russian gas reached about 62% of total imports, according to data from Net4Gas and the Czech Statistical Office. The data for November and December are shocking when the share of Russian gas in total imports rose sharply to 26% and 58%, respectively. An informed source told journalists that such a rapid increase could be due to the fact that the gas was stored in Ukrainian storage facilities and is now being imported to the Czech Republic. However, POR does not believe that the transit or resale of Russian gas to other countries could have changed the statistics this much. Firstly, because the vast majority of imported gas goes to the Czech Republic. Moreover, Net4Gas data for January show that the tendency of gas imports from Russia is not only maintained but also intensified. This means that Czech imports of natural gas, which improved Russia's balance of payments by almost 8 billion Czech crowns, or $344 million in the last quarter of last year, added an estimated 3 billion Czech crowns, or $129 million, to this amount in January, The Economist added. Czech Minister of Industry and Trade confirmed the growth of imports from October 2023. Lauren, thank you for the $20 donation to the fundraiser. So that brings us to $7,861 for the fundraiser. And obviously, we're very far away from potentially reaching $8,000 today because I think we raised $30. But hey, $30 is good. All of the bucks are good. But if you would like to donate to the fundraiser, we're raising for 6 DJI Mavic 3 Pro drones for 3rd Separate Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. And the link to do that is in my link in bio on TikTok and also in my pinned link right here on YouTube. The reason why I'm like so directionally challenged right now is because my video is mirrored, or rather not mirrored, and I hate it. And I keep not knowing how to turn it back to mirrored like it was before. See, the Republican senators in the USA block the bill. So they did not. Well, there is a lot of stuff happening with that. And there is a lot of stuff happening with that. And it's so someone just reported my live as being AI generated, and I had to move a puzzle piece. But I love how sweetly other cultures talk to cheeky dogs compared to Australia. Oh no, I'm tired. You know, like my dad like disciplines the dogs like, you know, like crazy. I am just like a little too nice to them. Listen, hey, come on, stop it. You sit down and you get out of her ass. Why are you so happy to lick her ass? Jesus Christ. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm sure you're going to laugh at my phrasing here, but you know, Liv, get out of her butthole, please. Anyways, where was I? Tucker Carlson in Moscow interviewing Putin. That's a fun one. So, I mean, a lot of people are kind of talking about, you know, so there is talk on Twitter where obviously the pro-Russian people are like, but look, Tucker Carlson went to Russia and interviewed Putin, and that's dangerous, and he's not in jail. Russia is fine. Hi, Steven. Well, Tucker Carlson is not a journalist. He's notoriously a former host and now actually a blogger, because he's not on a network. He's just on social media. He's essentially a blogger who has his own entertainment show, because on Fox, when he worked there and he had his own show, Fox News deliberately sued to be classified as entertainment, not news, because they wanted to avoid accountability for spreading disinformation. And with being classified as news, you kind of have to keep yourself accountable to a degree. So yeah, so it's entertainment, not news, and he's not a journalist. He never was. He's a media personality and a talk show host. That's about it. Also, he's notoriously pro-Russian, and he's been like, you know, kissing Putin's ass since the beginning of this invasion. So obviously nothing's going to happen to him. So then the example of how real journalists are being treated in Russia is Gershkovich, right? I don't agree with that. I don't think he is a journalist who was like uncovering the truth. He's just an American journalist who's not directly a Russian propagandist, right? That he would not have really been arrested if Russia didn't think that it can manipulate America through arresting him. So he wasn't arrested for his work. He was arrested for being American and being a trading card for Russia to manipulate the US into, into meeting them halfway on something. And so far, they have been unsuccessful in doing that. A good example of how Russia treats real people who try to uncover the truth are Crimean Tatar leaders that have been imprisoned and are missing in Crimea since the beginning of the invasion of Donbass and annexation of Crimea. A really good example of how Russia treats people that don't say what Russia wants are Ukrainians in occupied territories. Not even journalists, just regular people. Those are all much better examples than Gershkovich. And I'm annoyed at this whole situation with Gershkovich because it started this trend where people start posting Russian journalists who have been imprisoned and are like, this is what real journalists are treated like in Russia. No, those could be people who hate Putin. It doesn't mean they're real journalists and they were, doing the right thing, investigating the right things, telling people about the war. That really just means that they did something that Putin's government didn't like. And then doesn't have to be necessarily their desire to uncover the truth or be a real journalist. So yeah. The sympathy train for Russia needs to stop. And all the people who are like, well, Americans are not really interviewing Putin and we want to hear what he has to say. Then you can turn on YouTube and go listen to him because he says a lot. Oh, he says a lot. Oh, you can hear him say what he thinks all the time. That doesn't make the situation any different. It's kind of like, and I hate giving this example because it's so cheesy, right? But it's sort of like, we want to hear what Hitler has to say, because we don't hear what he says on TV or in transmissions when he's trying to invade countries. We want to know. We want to hear from Hitler, No. It's like presenting Gitkin as a Putin critic in Western media. Yes. Oh my gosh. He is a mercenary. Oh, hi, DW. Also, let me see. I don't think any more donations came in today. Nope. So yeah. I think I unfortunately need to end the stream because the dogs are giving me a hard time and yeah, Paul, I did see that. I accounted for it. Thank you very much. And what I announced it, I think, when it just came in. It was, I just don't want to say, your real name. But yes, so thank you for everyone who donated. I do need to go because I'm just feeling awful. And I'm done with the news. And normally I would stay and chat and we would talk about things. Oh, so you donated. Okay. So then you donated not today, right? In which case, oh, wait. Wait. Let me see. Let me see something. I want to see if that's what, if you are who I think you are. Just a couple of minutes ago. Was it a Grumpy? Don't be mean. Go to bed. I am gonna go to bed. But okay, wait. There is a. Are you sure you? Because I don't see anything just a couple of minutes ago. Well, first of all, it's not only 30 USD, but I don't have a donation from Paul. So if you by any chance misspelled the email, then that person doesn't exist and it'll return it straight to your account. But my last donation on here is from a person called Pavels. and before that it was Nicholas, but that was yesterday. And before that it was Tina. I just want to make sure that you didn't, that your donation didn't go somewhere. Oh, thank you, Walter. Oh, it's your first super in a live stream. Thank you, Walter. Ah, hi, Leslie, and thank you, Bob. Oh, thank you. Yes, Lauren, I did. I announced it as well. You might have not been in the chat. Yes, I did get your Venmo. I said thank you, Lauren. And sorry, Leslie, good to see you. And Paul, yeah, no worries. I just want to make sure that like you know that it didn't go somewhere where you didn't want it to go. Yeah, I don't have. Okay, you guys. I think I need to go because I am so incredibly decomposing right now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your donations. Congrats on your first super, Walter. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you for listening to the news. And I will see you tomorrow, probably at a better hour. And we will talk a little more extensively tomorrow as well. Oh, Martin, I'm so sorry. Good night. Thank you. I just really wanted to. The move is going okay. Well, it's super stressful. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I just wanted to do a stream today because I haven't done it in 2 days, and I was like, I kind of miss everyone, and I want to do the stream. And then I am, I mean, hey, it's been an hour and like 15 minutes, so I think like all things considered, I persevered. But okay, I will see you guys soon. All right. Bye. Good night. Thank you, Justin, and thank you, everybody. Good night, everyone. And thank you, Paul. Good night.